What's up, everybody? Welcome back to GameScoop. I'm your host, Damon Hatfield. I'm joined now by Ryan McCaffrey.
Hello.
Marty Sleva.
Hey.
Mitch Dyer.
Hello.
And the Xbox One is just hours away.
Whoa.
At this point.
Oh, man.
We're in the future.
And at that point, at midnight tonight, when the Xbox One launches, this gen ends. This generation is over.
Get rid of it.
Just burn your console.
Your Xbox 360
No one's playing Dark
ceases to be
Souls
useful.
2.
It's over.
Gran Turismo 6.
I still need to
forget
play
about it.
the South Park RPG if
Yep.
it ever comes
There's
out.
a lot of games next year.
Yeah.
But
I don't know.
Yeah.
But then all the next-gen consoles will be out.
Oh, and
Yeah.
all of Telltale's episodes for all their like walking. Yeah,
Sure.
Yeah.
All that's good
Wolf
stuff.
Among Us.
Yeah. Game of Thrones.
yeah.
Indeed. Yeah.
For a second, I was like, we can't talk about that. Like, no.
We can now.
Yeah.
We've been talking about it all day. Now we can talk about it with you. Anyway, I thought it would be a good time to start looking back at this generation. The question that I want to pose to you, gentlemen, is what was the best year for games this generation? Now, before you say anything, I've put together a little chart here.
I don't even need your chart, Damon.
But I think
That's how confident I am.
I think the picture it paints is interesting because I pulled IGN's highest rated games from each year.
Okay.
Okay.
It's like a natural curve, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like, so the games that got like high 8s to a 10, you know, in 2006 it's pretty slim pickings,
Yeah.
only 4 games. But then as you go, it peaks around 2009 and 2010 and then drops
again.
back off again.
Yeah, interesting.
Into the most recent years.
Yeah.
We'll reconvene in 10 years.
Well, you know
Compare
why?
this chart.
But for real,
Xbox One and PS4.
So it's new ideas, sequels
Sweet-
to those,
sweet
and
sequels.
where they peak. Like
And then too many sequels.
And then, too many sequels, interest trails off. That's exactly what
That's
happens.
really interesting.
That's video
really
games right there.
Interesting, yeah.
I just did science.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
That just happened.
But you guys have your own picks. You
Indeed,
want
we do.
to start, Ryan?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I guess chronologically, right?
yeah.
No, as soon as you propose this topic, which I think is a great topic for GameScoop.
Thank you.
2007 is the only
2007.
correct answer.
Whoa,
By the way,
shots fired.
2007 is the only correct answer. Mass Effect, Halo 3, Rock Band,
Orange
Box, which of course by itself is
Yeah, that's
full
kinda-
of Portal and Half-Life Episode 2,
Yeah.
Team Fortress.
Team Fortress 2. So just those.
BioShock.
Right there. BioShock. That was the other big
Warfare
one.
year.
Yeah,
left
Modern
off.
Warfare.
Modern Warfare
Call of
was that
Duty
year.
4.
The
yes.
first Mario Galaxy came out that
Yeah.
year.
and Super
man.
Mario Galaxy.
Yeah.
It seems like that was the year. 2007
it.
was the year this gen that developers really started getting
It's-
on
it's
the
when
grasp of
everything
the new
changed.
consoles.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
It's you look at Modern Warfare, and that's where shooters changed. And you look at Galaxy, and that's where platformers changed. And I feel like everything in 2007 was the start of something.
Yeah.
Rock Band, right? Before it became this like crazy big thing that popped, and
Yeah.
suddenly nobody cared anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, like to be devil's advocate, even though like that year to me is phenomenal.
Yeah.
But you could say that almost all of those games you named had sequels that were better.
That's what I was going to say. 2010.
I
you
would
get-
say Mario Galaxy 2 is better than Mario
that
Galaxy
was
1.
2010. Mass Effect 2 is
1.
better.
Rock Band 2 to Rock Band
No,
1.
number one. but however, yes, you're right but the Mario Galaxy 2 is a better game than Mario Galaxy 1. But for me, I hold the first one in higher esteem because I had the sense of wonder and newness and
Right.
discovery with the
Yes.
first
Yeah.
one. Whereas with the second one, I'd been around that planetary block
Yeah.
once before.
Yeah.
So it just didn't quite have the same
Yeah.
impact.
2007 is defined by those games, right? Like when you think back about 2007, that's a year that is imprinted in your mind.
Yeah.
Whereas, like I think back at 2011, at that point we're years deep into the console cycle. There are some great games and there are awesome sequels, but I can't think of one game where it's like that was 2011.
Yeah.
So even so Portal 2 is a great game, but when you don't associate Portal 2 with 2011.
Yeah,
I
I mean
mean,
it's just kind of like at that point I feel like we were so deep into it that maybe it all just kind of blends together and stops being definitive by year.
Yeah, but that fall, I mean, between Skyrim and Dark Souls and
Yeah.
Arkham
Skyward
City,
Sword,
Arkham
Arkham City,
Oh, man.
Uncharted 3, like, that was a busy fall.
2007 for me, those games that you just listed,
Yeah.
several of those are, if I were to make a top 10 or even top 5 of this entire generation,
Yeah.
probably at least 3 of the games. I mean, Mass Effect 1, Rock Band, Mario
Box.
Galaxy, 3 of
Orange
those.
Box, yeah.
Orange Box.
BioShock.
And like, those are all, that's like, those are seriously, those are my top games of the
Yeah.
entire generation.
You know what I think it is? I think it's like that. We were a year after the Xbox 360, or 2 years,
A
about
full
2
year.
years.
A year and a
year and a
change.
bit. The Wii had been out for a bit. We'd seen what it could do, and I think Gears and Oblivion had been out by then.
Those were both 06. Yeah.
So by then we'd gotten a taste of what next generation could be, but I think it finally hit its stride in 07, and we finally saw a bunch of developers really hitting their mark on games that were only next gen.
Yeah.
They weren't tied to previous gen. There were no ports. It was this is next gen. This
Yeah.
is the shit. This is what's
Okay,
up.
and what's amazing about those, most of those 2007 titles were all within about 3 months of each other. 'Cause
Yeah.
BioShock
They were like
was
October,
August.
November.
Yeah, it was August through November.
That's right.
For almost all of that.
That is crazy.
So I wonder if 2007 will be like 2015 will be like 2007 for us.
Well,
man.
I'm already looking towards for the new Mirror's Edge
Mm,
in 2015. So that's that's my game of the generation already. I'm calling it.
all right, Marty, what were you feeling?
2007 is amazing. I feel like I have to go with 2012 with last
year.
Yeah. To me, it
was an incredible year.
It was an incredible
It was.
year, and when I look back at this generation, I think the two games that are going to stick with me are The Walking Dead and Journey. And both of those games came out
hard to
last
argue
year.
with.
And then you had this just flood of amazing indie games from Mark the Ninja to Hotline Miami to Fez,
FTL.
FTL.
Can I throw in one other non-indie,
Yeah,
but totally
absolutely.
Mass Effect 3, the trilogy
3.
concluded, which that was like 100 hours of our
Yeah,
lives
yeah.
coming to an end.
Yeah.
Talk about spanning a generation.
You had Diablo 3, you had Dishonored, you had
That's right.
you had XCOM,
Far Cry 3.
you had Far Cry
Yeah,
3,
man.
you had Spec Ops:
Yeah.
The Line. Yeah, that
Heart
was
of the Swarm last year as well.
Which one?
Heart of the
StarCraft
Swarm.
2, Heart of the Swarm. That might have been this year.
Might have been- yeah,
Yeah, I don't
It's
Years-
all messy. Like I
years are
say, man,
weird.
it all blends
Years are
together
weird.
for me. In
Yeah,
recent
the
years.
only
yeah, strong call.
I feel like the Wii U launched in 2012, but none of those games were really worth it. And the 3DS hadn't hit its stride yet. That didn't happen until early this year. So Nintendo was sort of the only one, in my opinion, missing from 2012.
It looks like Nintendo peaked, at least the Wii peaked in 2010 because that was Galaxy 2, Kirby's Epic Yarn, and Donkey Kong Country Returns.
Yeah.
all came that year.
Yeah,
Man, that was a good year.
that was a good
for
year.
Wii.
Yeah.
yeah, it's pretty good. Anyway,
My instinctive reaction was 2007 as well, but I looked just kind of skimming through other releases. I feel like 2008 was one of the best years all around for every platform this generation. When you look at Wii, there was Super Smash Brothers Brawl came out that year, as well as No More Heroes. We had Burnout Paradise. We had Sins of a Solar Empire and The Witcher. This was a
Civ
year-
Rev that year.
Civ Rev was that year.
yeah.
Gears 2 was that year. Rock Band 2. I mean, we're hitting that sequel bump, right? Where it's like, oh, shoot, they had all these really good things, and now they're even better.
Yeah, that was also the first year for Little Big Planet, which is a big.
Oh, wow.
Sony
Yeah,
exclusive
sure.
now.
Wow.
Was that AC2?
I really want to say that was 09.
Okay. Oh,
AC2 was 09.
Yeah, so that was the one year we didn't get Assassin's Creed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was the one
That
year
was-
where, where they were figuring it out.
They're like, how do we fix this game?
Yeah, I mean, what else was on our top rated list?
Did you mention Bionic Commando Rearmed is on there?
That was
Oh my God, is that really 08?
Castle Crashers came out.
Castle
that year.
Oh man,
Crashers, yeah.
Rearmed is one of my
game's still
favorite
making
games
money,
of all
still
time.
on
yeah.
the top
Yeah.
top charts.
Left 4 Dead, the first Left 4 Dead.
my
came
God.
out
There's
that
even
year.
like, I mean, I'm
Yeah.
looking at a giant list of stuff right now. Like even on DS, Sonic Chronicles: The Dark Brotherhood. That was the
BioWare.
game.
Yeah,
Yeah,
It was
that's
this
crazy.
awesome
Yeah,
Sonic RPG that came out of nowhere. It was. I mean, 8 was a weird year where there were a lot of like weird misfires, but there was some great stuff.
What were some of the misfires?
Well, that's not what we're here to talk about.
Well, I decided.
Rock Revolution.
That was in
the
8?
the drums for that were. I don't know how anyone could have greenlit those things.
Yeah.
If you've seen them, Google them if you don't know what I'm talking about.
But this was also, I mean, Metal Gear Solid 4, Grand Theft Auto 4, Dead Space
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
08. It was a huge year. Another, like, it was just riding the wave of next gen is cool, and it's
Yeah.
here finally.
Yeah. Now, a lot of people know, like, I'm a big fan of like Xbox Live Arcade
Yeah.
and that stuff. It looks like 2010 maybe was the peak year for that. That was the year that we got Limbo
Yep.
and Super Meat Boy
Yeah.
and Pac-Man Championship Edition DX.
Was that also Trials and Shadow Complex, or was that 2009?
I think that was the
Trials.
year before, yeah.
Yeah, I don't
That
think.
was 09. Yeah. Oh, and Deathspank came out that year too.
Yeah,
I loved it. That great
Yeah.
game.
Also,
Underrated.
2010 might be just for me personally my year because that was the year Red Dead Redemption came out. I think that's
Same day as Alan Wake.
which I also love. Which I also love. And I think Red Dead is the best game Rockstar made this generation.
I totally agree.
my personal.
Also 2010, Enslaved. One of my favorite games of the
Enslaved?
generation.
Yeah.
Love Enslaved.
Just,
Sleeper.
Just Cause 2.
yeah.
It was so fun. I like that game.
was a year.
And then on the PlayStation side, Heavy Rain came out, which is a big.
Yeah.
My
very
favorite
big exclusive
PS3
for them.
game.
Yeah,
Whoa.
it's big for them.
Yep.
Big
I
claim.
know that.
Marty and I were talking today. 2013 had like a lot of great games. Kind of sucked in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Well,
if it's that
transition
kind of
year.
sucked,
Yeah.
but yeah.
I mean, BioShock Infinite.
Yep.
The
Dead
Last
Space
of Us.
3,
GTA 5.
Tomb Raider.
Yeah.
Tomb Raider.
Splinter Cell Blacklist.
Lots
Blacklist
of,
was
like,
great.
like I said, lots of great stuff like Rayman Legends, amazing.
Yeah, Gone Home came out this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, big time.
But yeah, maybe
Wolf
compared
Among
to
Us.
some of these
I'm
other
already
years,
putting that on my 2013
Yeah.
list
Yeah.
after
Wolf
one
Among Us
episode.
is really good. Yeah.
You know another game from 2008, speaking of like that game or that year was just great for all platforms. Persona 4 on PS2. PS2 was still going.
Hey, you know what was 2012? Persona 4 Gold.
Persona 4 Golden, the best version of that game.
Looking at all these games, it just makes me think this generation has been.
It's been solid.
It was
Amazing.
so
it's
good.
incredible.
Incredible, yeah.
People, you know, I've been gaming a long time. People can get nostalgic and
Yeah.
reminisce and miss the good old days of gaming. But this shows like this is a better time than ever
Yeah,
to be
it's
a
true.
gamer.
Yeah, I mean, if this
games.
upcoming
Yeah.
generation, if we're able to sit here 7 years from now and rattle off games like this, like,
Yeah.
that's going to be incredible.
It's really good.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. Viewers, what do you think was the best year for games this generation? Let us know in the comments and on Twitter, and stay tuned for more from IGN Gamescoop.